Let's see. Am I live? I think I'm live. I think I'm live, and I need to share my screen. Here we go. And I am looking for the chat box. Thank you guys for your patience. I am new to this and I've tested it. And I mean, like I said in my last one, this should be easier, right? This should be easier, I think. But it's not. So, okay. The thing is, things have moved since I tested it. So that's why I'm stumbling through right now. So I appreciate your patience. And hopefully you can hear me. Let's see. So I want to overlay that. I'm sorry, just give me just a moment here to get this back the way it was. Okay. And my presentation went away. Embarrassing. Again, thank you for hanging in there with me while I work this out. You know, technology is great when it works the way you want it to, but then when it doesn't, it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing, which I do. I promise you I do. But oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's just do it from here. We'll do it from here. My presentation keeps disappearing. So here we go. We'll just start from here, right? So thank you for your patience. Thank you so much for being here. This is Tuesdays with Teresa, and this is my 10-week series on AI. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So I am Teresa Durham. I'm a project manager and business consultant. I'm the owner of Teresa Durham LLC, and I have over 25 years experience helping struggling organizations navigate through change, solve problems, and reach their goals via project management, process improvement, and operations management. So with the arrival of AI, I realized this is a pivotal moment, kind of like the PC. You know, it's like the microwave. It's like cable TV, those things that came up and changed our lives, changed the things that we do, changed the way that we live. So I'm very aware of the hype and the excitement around AI, but I'm also aware that there are people out there who don't know much about it. Maybe they're afraid of it, or they really don't care at this moment about AI. So I created this series to make people more aware of AI, what it is, what it does, what it doesn't do, and why you should care about it. So hopefully you'll find this information helpful. So as I mentioned, this is a 10-week series. So I started last week with the introduction to AI. And what I covered in that was what AI is and lots of definitions. So there are a lot of words that people throw around when they're talking about AI. GPT, machine learning, large language model, lots of words that I think you need to be aware of so you know what they're talking about with regard to AI. AI is more than just Chat GPT. We went through a brief history of AI, talked about how AI learns, the future of AI. No one has a crystal ball, but there are some things that are on the horizon that we already know, are coming. So we talked about that, and also, kind of thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if? Talked about myths versus reality, and there's always myths, excuse me, and rumors when there's a new thing on the horizon or something that people are afraid of or they don't understand. Um, and then we also talked about how you can begin engaging with AI if you haven't already. And even if you have, what are some things that you can do or some mindset shifts that will help you to engage better with AI? So, if you didn't see that, it is recorded and it's on I think it's on all my channels. It's on YouTube, it's on LinkedIn, and it's on Facebook somewhere. So yeah, I think you should check that out. It'll give you a good foundation about what AI is, and I think it's easy to understand. So week 2, AI in our daily lives, the unseen impact. So whether you know it or not, we've already been using AI every day, even before all the hype began, right? There were things that we were doing with AI. So today I'm going to talk about some things that are obvious, some things that are beyond obvious, some of your personal experiences that you might not realize you've been interacting with AI. We'll talk about some invisible helpers, some things that are just, you don't even think about it, and it's in our everyday, impacting our everyday lives. AI in learning and development, the difference between then and now, that's going to be more about software development and AI. What's the difference? It's like, well, these things have been going on for years. What makes it different with AI involved? So we'll talk about that. I'll give you an engagement challenge to make sure you're out there getting your feet wet with AI. And if there's some things that you're already doing, I'll give you some challenges to try some other things. And then I'll tell you what's coming up next week. All right. So let's jump into it. So the obvious, we know AI is among us. What are some things that you see in your daily lives that are AI related? Let me see if I can see if there's anything in the chat. Feel free to put something in the chat if you want. Now, unfortunately, I can't see LinkedIn chat. I don't know why, but that's something I didn't work out in my testing. But those of you on YouTube or on Facebook, feel free to put something in the chat if you have a comment about what we're talking about, or feel free to chat amongst yourselves. So some things that are obvious. Let's think about your phone. We've got what? Siri, Google, Alexa, Bixby, Cortana. Remember Cortana? I don't know. Is Cortana still around? I know Bixby. I'm a Samsung girl. I'm an Android lover, so no hate from the Apple folks, but I know Bixby is still there. Yeah, I can't think of any others, but that's something that you use. I mean, that's obvious that you use. How about those customer service chatbots on websites when you go to the website? How about imaging and editing filters? Remember when we got all into the selfie thing with social media, and then people started complaining, well, she doesn't look like that in the picture. Well, you find out that she's edited, made her nose skinnier, or made her waist smaller, or made her hips bigger. So that's AI was in that. And then your social media feeds and your streaming service, there are AI algorithms that are recommending things to you. So these are things that we live with every day, right? So beyond the obvious, think about smart homes and IoT, or Internet of Things. So, do you have any smart appliances in your home? Like, does your oven tell you when it's time for maintenance? Does your HVAC tell you when it's time to change the filter? What are some other things? You got security, you got your Ring camera, right? Um, yeah, people have smart homes set up. Um, I know, I've worked with the Geek Squad, well, not the official Geek Squad, but engineers and software engineers and techies, and a lot of them do things like this. So set up their smart home. So when you pull up, your light comes on. When you walk in the house, the music starts playing. Maybe the lights dim in the bedroom and things like that. So that's the smart home. And I don't think most of us are to that degree. Even if we have smart things in our homes, we're not to the degree where we're like the Jetsons or anything like that. But yeah, that capability is definitely out there, right? Thanks to AI. How about health and fitness apps? Like, I have a smartwatch on. This is a Samsung, and it, of course, counts my steps. It monitors my sleep. Um, if I don't sleep well, if it says, "Oh, you're not getting enough sleep," then it gives me suggestions on how to get better sleep. Change your bedtime ritual. Maybe try some magnesium before you go to bed. Um, yeah, things like that. This can dictate, check my heart rate, my this even does the ECG, one of those. Blood pressure. Some of them can monitor your temperature and tell you when your cycle's coming on. So these little devices, AI's in them, or you might have an app on your phone where you have AI in that. So there's a lot of ways that we're already using AI that maybe is beyond the obvious. So did I skip a slide? Oh, okay. So AI and the personal experience. So some things that impact you personally. Let's think about AI in finances. So you might have an app on your phone or on your computer that helps you to budget. It may give you personalized budgeting advice based on your spending habits. It may help you save for a trip. It may give you some recommendations on saving, again, based on your habits. It's personalized to you. Personalized investment advice, forecasting market trends, and even automating those trading decisions for you based on something that you set up, or your history, your risk tolerance, and financial objectives. So that's one way that finance is impacted. Your everyday finances can be impacted by AI. Of course, we know financial institutions assess credit worthiness using systems, and definitely AI. They may offer more nuanced and dynamic credit reporting. The credit bureaus um, utilizing AI. So that's it in finance. And then, of course, personalized entertainment. We all have our streaming services, right? We've got Netflix, Disney, oh man, Hulu. What else is there? Amazon Prime. There's so many to choose from, right? So those recommendations can be personalized to you and your family based on your watching habits, what you watch, what you listen to, Spotify, Apple Music. I think that's what it's called, Apple, whatever it is. Um, they will give you recommendations based on your what you listen to, what you watch. what you like. There's interactive gaming. I don't really know a lot about gaming. My daughter games, but I don't. I'm no good at games. But if you think about how you can play against anyone in the world, or you can play against the machine, and I'm not just talking about the games with pew pew, those games, but you've also got the puzzle games, um, uh, where you could play against a computerized opponent and maybe sharpen your skills. AI can enhance virtual reality experiences, making them more interactive and personalized. I know you all are aware of what are those goggles from Apple goggles or whatever they're called. AI is in that, enhancing the virtual reality experience. There's automated video editing. People that are doing, maybe influencers or other people that do video editing, can take advantage of AI, helping them do some of the things that they need to do, replacing things that's missing. I think I've seen some commercials with maybe phones that have video editing software embedded in them, and the commercial showed, oh, you took this great picture on vacation, but you've got someone photobombing you over here to the side. Well, you can just erase them out and fill in the background. AI figures out what was behind that person and puts it there. So that's AI involved in video editing. You've got content suggestions based on trends, and even generating AI music and artwork to accompany the content. So you probably guessed it, but a lot of these pictures in my presentation come from AI. I just said, hey, I think this is what I'd like to see. Can you give me this? Excuse me. Or I'll say, this is the idea I'm trying to get across. Can you provide me an image that would represent that idea? And, AI will give me an image. So that's some ways that we can use it. One thing I wanted to say, because it just came to my mind, my daughter is very creative, and she's an artist, and she's just not loving AI right now. She has the mind that, oh, AI is stealing from artists, because of the data that's been fed into AI to help it to be able to understand us, what we do, how we do it, what means what, and so forth. Um, and I've tried to talk her out of that. I'm not I'm not winning right now. I'm not doing so well, but yeah, she and a lot of artists feel the same way, whether it's drawing, painting, singing, making music. A lot of artists are not very happy with AI right now. And the way I look at it, this probably isn't going to go over well, but there's nothing new under the sun. We're influenced, we as humans, we're influenced by the things that we hear. So if someone says, oh, my favorite artist is, I don't know, Marvin Gaye, um, um, I don't know, I can't think of any artists now, Prince, Michael Jackson, Dolly Parton, I don't know, a bunch of people. But that music influences what you create. You're not emulating that person or their style necessarily, but what you create has definitely influenced by. I think it's the same thing with AI. AI learns these things, and it's not copying necessarily what people have done. It's coming out with a mishmash of what that could be. I mean, unless you specifically say, hey, give me a song in the style of Stevie Wonder, whatever, and it will try to emulate it. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I just wish my daughter would be more open to it. Um, um, and I don't know how to change that right now. So anyway, moving on. Let's see. The invisible helpers. So Email and communication. We all use email in business, and there's ways AI is embedded in email to help you every day. I mean, think about spam filters. You've got predictive text that when you're typing and the rest of the word shows up, that's predictive text. That's AI. Um, you've got autocomplete or autocorrect, as we call it. Email categorization. If you can set up your filters in your email, and then your email can be categorized however you do the settings. AI is doing that. Attachment reminders. This is something that I found fascinating as I would be ready to send an email. I might hit send, and then a little thing pops up, and it's like, you may have forgotten to attach something. I don't know what triggered that. And a lot of times, no, I don't have an attachment, but I thought, oh, that'd be cool. So if I forgot the attachment, um, that reminder would have helped me. And then the follow-up reminders I really like. It's like you open up your email and it says, hey, you sent this message 3 days ago. You haven't gotten a response. Would you like to follow up? Or you received this email 2 days ago and you haven't responded. Would you like to follow up? So that's AI that's helping us do our jobs better. And then, of course, online shopping. You get personalized product recommendations based on your shopping habits. You've got virtual try-ons. I don't know if you've seen some of those things where it's like, oh, that dress is cute. I want to see how it looks on me. And they have where you can put yourself in front of a camera, and then the clothes will, kind of fit to your body, kind of. And you can kind of see what you look like with the clothes. So they have the virtual try-on. They have it with makeup. Some of you may have seen some of those where it lets you try different lipsticks or eyeshadows and eyelashes or whatever, see how you look. Hair, you can try on different hair and things like that. There's AI used for stock management. Stores could manage their stock based on AI and the pricing. It could be set up to automatically change based on the competition trends. And then there's fraud detection. I don't know how it works, but it's out there, right? Okay. So those are some invisible helpers that we just don't think about, but they're there. And then AI in learning and development. Of course, we've got educational platforms, language learning apps. I used what was this? The one with the owl. Yeah, there were actually 3 apps that I used to learn French, and they were very helpful, and they would adjust to how you do. So you'll learn something, and then it'll review what you learned, and then you'll get like a quiz and see how well you do, and based on how well you do, that determines the next program that you go through. And then sometimes it'll incorporate some of those things that you missed before, so it personalizes to your learning pace. There's adaptive testing. And I think that's kind of what I just described. You take a test, and based on how you do on the test, then that determines what comes up next. It may review some of the things you did not do as well on, and as it teaches you new things. There's a personalized learning paths where I think that would be great because all kids don't learn the same way. That's one of the challenges I had with my children in school, where it's difficult for the teacher. You've got a class of 30 students and they all don't learn, the same way or at the same speed. They're not all at the same level. And how do you do that? And then most of them just teach to the middle. And, the outliers, you either get left behind because you can't keep up, or they slow down and get bored because they're beyond what the teacher's teaching. So if you get some personalized learning paths, I think that will help with the way kids are learning and the way adults learn in the future. Automated tutoring. You got content generation and curation. I mean, that would help the teachers when their they're preparing their class. I am just, my brain's crazy today. When they're preparing their class presentations, what they're going to be teaching the kids for that day, AI can help with that content generation. Uh, Learning analytics, anything to do with data, AI is going to be great at. And gamification, that's one of the things that those learning apps, the language learning apps, did a lot of. You get points and stars and, things you can go on social media and brag about later, with regard to how you're doing in your learning goals. And I think I said this already, plagiarism detection. There was a lot of news stories after AI became this big deal about students writing papers, and there was plagiarism detected. Now, students have been plagiarizing for years, right? So this AI is helping to better detect plagiarism. So if there's something that's out there, it can find it faster than, say, a teacher that's trying to find it on their own. So there's that. Um, so here, what's the difference? Now, having worked in technology for years, I'm aware of the magic that software developers could do. I know their magic, right? But that said, hearing some of the things AI is involved in, I couldn't help but wonder, well, software developers have been writing algorithms for years, and they're enabling businesses to do forecasting, tracking, logical problem solving, and so forth. So what's the difference when I say AI is doing these things? Haven't they been doing these things for years before AI was really a thing? So I did some research and I came up with this in case you're wondering the same thing as well. This table that gives you a kind of then and now. So if we think about what the software developers were doing uh, as traditional software, and then what the AI systems are enabling now, that's what this table is showing. So if you look here at learning and adaptation, so maybe the software developers were following predefined rules without change, unless a software developer came along and said, oh, so you want to change this or change how this works? Okay, I need to get in here and do some more development. That's going to be more money. That's going to take time. Whereas an AI system learns from data over time, improves accuracy and efficiency autonomously. Okay, so that's the difference there. What the traditional software developer created was static, right? And then AI systems enables that learning ability and improving accuracy and efficiency over time without someone having to go in and say, okay, now this is the deal, do it this way now. Okay, if that makes sense. Personalization offers generalized solutions, not tailored to individual needs. So if we think about what are some things that we may have used in the past. I can't think of anything offhand, but you would get suggestions, and it's like, that's not. I don't need that, or that has nothing to do with me, or why did I get that? But now AI can tailor recommendations that you get to your behavior, your personalized interests, your personalized behavior, and your unique situation. Okay, so that's a difference: traditional software and AI systems. If we think about predictive analytics, so things that like financial institutions may have used to, I don't know, approve someone for a loan, or I don't know, whatever they do with the finance stuff. Um, it could use historical data based on static models and limited pattern recognition. Okay. That's what the software developers would develop there. And that was the data that they had. And they would say, okay, based on this data, this is what we want you to do. AI can identify complex patterns and trends for a more nuanced and accurate prediction. So humans may have been doing more of this analysis and then building based on that analysis, whereas AI can do a better analysis or maybe think of some things that we didn't think of, and a faster analysis. I mean, definitely faster than a human can, and then come out with predictions. So that would probably speed up predictive analytics, if nothing else. You've got real time decision making. So again, traditional software, we probably had a set schedule. Every day at 3 o'clock, this runs. Um, at night, this will run overnight. Um, and then you might be limited as far as where you can go because of the schedule. Whereas the AI system can process data in real time, like as it comes in, one at a time. It can process that data and move quickly because it moves much faster. It can analyze more data more accurately than, say, a human could. Scalability and efficiency. Efficiency may decrease as the data volume and complexity grow. Um, Again, AI is designed to manage big data efficiently. Okay, I mentioned already several times, it's faster. It can handle more data more accurately, and it can learn. Lastly, user interaction. User interaction was based on forms and predefined options. And then AI can use natural language processing for intuitive and natural user interaction. So if you think about um, people that used to be able to do, well, people that can do software development now, there's different languages that they learn. Java. What's the new one everybody's talking about now? I can't think of it. But there's C++, yeah, all that stuff. There's certain ways you would talk to the computer to get it to do the things that you want to do. Now with these large language models, you can use almost just natural, the way we talk language, and get, you know, useful data back out of the system because of AI. So those are some differences where traditional software development that's been around, and they've been doing magic. Like I said, they're magicians, creating things, getting systems to do these things. But AI is coming along, and with its ability to learn and do things more quickly, it's making things more efficient, and things can move faster for us. So I hope that's helpful. Well, it's helpful for me. So, um, with all that said, I want to challenge you. Okay. So I'm going to challenge you on leaving this live. And if you're not familiar with AI, if you have not played with it much or at all, I challenge you to explore your surroundings. Start to notice the things that we take for granted every day that are AI enhanced, right? Um, and even if you are familiar with AI, say you've messed around with the chatbots, but you're not well immersed in it, I hope that some of the things that we talked about today makes you say, I didn't think about it. I just took those things for granted. I didn't think AI was involved in those things. So I'm going to challenge you to go home and fiddle with some of your smart appliances or your IoT devices, IoT being Internet of Things. Change some of the settings, see what happens, right? Activate a feature on your smartwatch that you've never used before. Like, these things do so much, and I'm not talking about do an exercise that you've never done before. I'm talking about, do you pay attention to the sleep thing? Do you ever track, just check your heart rate and see how it's doing at, outside of your exercising? Do you, like I said, some of them do blood pressure. Just take your blood pressure. Have you taken your blood pressure lately? I don't know, do an EKG, something. Do something on your smartwatch that you've never done before. Or those of you that don't have a smartwatch, on your app, you use some function on your app that you've never used before and see what happens. For your streaming services, watch a new movie or listen to a podcast recommended by Netflix or Spotify. Something that, you know, sometimes they'll recommend things and it's like, I don't want to listen to that. Listen to it. Pick one and listen to it, or pick something and watch it. And then let me know next week. Did you like it? Is it something that you didn't think you'd like, but you wound up liking it? Or was it all wrong? Right? Was it all wrong? And then try to figure out, why was this recommended to me? What in my habits made AI think that this was something that I would enjoy? Um, and lastly, try going to your YouTube and like some new things, and then notice how your algorithm changes. Your recommendations, the videos that YouTube recommends that you watch. Maybe try that on anything. Try it on your social media. Like some things that you don't normally like, and start seeing what flows into your feed, and see how you can manipulate that, to see some different things. Who knows, you might discover something fascinating. Now, I have AI bingo here. I was going to do a bingo game, but it just seemed corny. I didn't think anybody would really like it. So maybe we'll do that. I mean, I've got 8 more weeks. Maybe we'll do that another time. So I think that would be fun. And I'd like to get you guys involved in exploring, AI, and get some feedback from you on how you're engaging in it, and what you're learning, and what you're liking and not liking about AI. So yeah. So really, this week was it was kind of more of an extension of the intro to AI, because I know I talked about a lot of things that you're probably like, I already knew about that stuff. I already knew about this stuff. But some people didn't. Some people didn't. So I like to, whenever I'm teaching or I'm explaining something to someone, I always like to make a solid foundation and make sure everybody's on the same page, because when you get further down the line and people think they understand, things don't fit together if they don't have a solid foundation. So I think with the intro to AI, the stuff, that information that I provided last week, going through these examples this week, you should have a solid foundation. So going into next week, we're going to be talking about the AI chatbots. Okay, what are they? Which are best for what? Which chatbot is best for what you're trying to do? Why you should use them? And tips and tricks for how to get the most out of them. So I've got some, I'll be bringing them up live, and I will have some tips and tricks that's beyond the just, hey, chatbot, give me this. I don't know exactly what I'm going to show you, but it could be how to get the chatbot to talk in your voice. How to do better, how to get more out of it with your prompts, how to, I don't know, what else could I tell you that would be helpful, how to use more than one to get the information that you're looking for, and things like that. So I can't do a super deep dive in an hour, because I will be talking about definitely the 3 main chatbots, and maybe a few more, but I will be doing some demos for those chatbots and giving you some tips and tricks to take away to get more out of them as you interact with them. So that's next week. I hope I'll see you next week. And just as an FYI, this is the proposed schedule for my 10-week series. I already did the introduction to artificial intelligence, and as I mentioned, the recording is out there. And if everything goes well, I'm going to be recording every one of these, and I will be putting them out on my spaces, YouTube, LinkedIn, and my company Facebook page, I think. Yeah, that's the plan. I'll put them out there as they're recorded, but I really hope that you can join me live on Tuesdays, because I'd like to have the interaction, be able to answer any questions live, and also get feedback from you that I can put into the sessions that I'm working on for the weeks to come. So today was week 2. We did AI in everyday life. Next week I'll be doing AI chatbots. Then we'll do AI for business productivity. That should be helpful for many of you that are working in office jobs currently. Business analysis, project management, and so forth. How you can use AI for business productivity. AI in creative industries. So those of you that are doing more creative things, you know what's creative. I don't have to mention it. AI and data analysis and decision making, ethical AI, AI for project management specifically, because that's my space. Emerging AI technologies, and week 10 will be viewer's choice based on the feedback I get from you. And 2, this is subject to change. Again, as I mentioned, as I get feedback from you guys watching, I can change it up. If there's something that, if I'm going too deep on something or not deep enough, I can change that up. And based on the feedback I get from this too, I can set up more deep dive workshops for later. So feel free to give me feedback on what you liked, what you want more of, what you wanted to hear that maybe I didn't cover or I don't have on this list. Just let me know. I'm flexible. I'm agile, as they say. So yeah, I want to stop sharing my presentation here. How do you do that, Teresa? I don't know. All right, and we're back. So yeah, thank you for joining. It was a pretty quick one today, and I hope that I gave you some things to think about, and hope you learned something new. And I hope I will see you next Tuesday at 2 o'clock for Tuesdays with Teresa. And I promise I will get better with this streaming thing. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I will see you next week. Bye.